There has been widespread revulsion in response to this terror attack, not least in the Muslim community here and around the world. It's been reported that terrorists shouted out that the attack was, quote, avenging the Prophet after Charlie Hebdo's cartoons. But one of the policemen killed in that attack was himself a Muslim, named by authorities as Ahmed Merabet. And there is, of course, a fear of a backlash against the Muslim community in this difficult atmosphere now. Elsa Ray is from the Collective Against Islamophobia. Herself, she is a French Muslim, and she joins me live now via Skype from Dijon. Elsa, thank you for joining me. First and foremost, as a Muslim, I need to ask you what your reaction is, not to the slaughter, of course, but to the cartoons that Charlie Hebdo has been putting out over the last several years.
Well, I believe that as many Muslims, we do not agree with those type of humor, and this is very hard for us to see those kind of cartoons. But even if we do not agree with that, there is no justification for the terrible things that those two people did.
What do you hope to see, and do you support this call for imams all across France to actually go ahead and again condemn this at Friday prayers tomorrow?
Yes, I think it's very important that the Muslim community in France gets united to actually denounce this terrible attack and call for unity for Muslim people, but also non-Muslim people. It's very, very important that the representatives of the Muslim community in France do call for unity and condemn those attacks. And it's very important as well that NGOs from the civil society also call for unity and brotherhood and condemn the hate or all type of hate in our society.
There have been a few incidents that have been reported over the last 24 hours of a backlash against some in the Muslim community. Apparently no wounded, no victims, but certain attacks. How afraid do you think the Muslim community is now?
Well, the Muslim community is now very much concerned and afraid. As soon as we heard that the attackers were Muslim, we knew that there would be a backlash. And this is now the reality, and the Muslim community is very concerned, especially because there have been several attacks against mosques, but also against individuals, many verbal abuse and also physical abuse. So obviously the Muslim community is very afraid and very concerned. And I believe this is the work of the French authorities to ensure the security of the entire nation, including Muslim community.
Now, you heard the Foreign Minister, Laurent Fabius, say that one of the aims of these types of attacks, of these types of people, is to divide the community, divide Muslims from non-Muslims. I just want to read you what the head of the French Islamic community said, that it was a barbaric attack on democracy and freedom of the press. But he also said that this is a deafening declaration of war, what happened yesterday, that times have changed and we're now entering a new era of confrontation. Elsa, you know, we have all tried so hard to be tolerant over the last many, many years of this kind of extremist violence. We've all tried to separate the extremists from the law-abiding, peaceful, massive majority of Muslims here and around the world. But something has gone wrong here. Why do you think it is that radical Islam is being used as the vehicle, as some have suggested, for this, whatever it is, this politics, this rage, this alienation, whatever it might be?
Well, I believe it's a question with many answers. First of all, it's true that the international context, especially since 9/11, is very, as you know, difficult and complicated. And we know that the situation in Western and Eastern countries are very tense and difficult. And we know that this context has a big influence on Europe. It's very true all over Europe, not only for France. But the problem is also is that we face a very strong economical and sociological crisis, and therefore we have we have observed for the past years a rise of the extremists, all type of extremism, not only religious extremism but also political, extreme right-wing parties, etc. And the consequences are disastrous for the society. And the division between, native people, immigrants, believers, non-believers, etc. There is more and more and more division within the society, and it's all of that explains that some people get more violence, and that hate calls always for more hate, and that's what we need to really put a stop today and get united and say we have to stop these vicious circles of hate.
Indeed, it's a long, hard job. Elsa Ray of the Collective Against Islamophobia, thank you so much for joining me.